We're talking to Dr. JMerritt, and the topic is the Nashville Metropolitan Education Association. And of course, Dr. Merritt, let's see if we can deal with some of the concerns that members of your organization have in reference to the recent recent suggested cuts in terms of the elimination of schools and et cetera, et cetera. What are some of the concerns that you have?
I guess the biggest concern is the document that the school board or the administration presented to the school board cuts things close to children and people. Our position has always been to cut things rather than people. That people are important. And to keep the cuts as far away from children as possible. You know, in the past, this district, this is not the first time this district has had to make cuts, but in the past when they made cuts in a manner that protected children and neighborhoods. And our greatest concern is that the cuts that they're talking about are detrimental to children and neighborhoods, communities.
And so it's a real concern that that have been voiced by members of your organization.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The other concern really does involve money. When you talk about freezing the salary scale, and I'm sure you're aware with the BP formula, the lawsuit the small school districts had that is equalizing salary across the state.
Okay.
The surrounding counties' salaries are going up. If we freeze ours, in effect, this school district will be recruiting for the surrounding counties because people will go where they can make more money. People don't go into teaching to get rich, but people in teaching have families too, and they have to, you know, a loaf of bread costs the same thing for a teacher as it does, you know, for the director of school at $200,000. So they have to protect their families as well. So it's not about not wanting to do things for the children, but at the same time you have to be competitive, and there are things in this budget that can be cut.
You think that that the attempt has been made to cut people, cut at people rather than cut at things? Exactly.
PE teachers, arts. You know, those are things that are essential to a well-rounded child. Obesity is a major issue. I heard a gentleman from the American Heart Association speak. I mean, you know, do not cut out physical activity for children. Those things are very important.
But those are some of the proposed cuts that would come about as a result of what
from the administration. The proposal that they gave to the Board of Education. I guess my biggest concern is that the cuts are punitive in nature toward children. And I realize that the school board and others were very disappointed, I included, in the fact that the sales tax referendum did not pass. But you can't punish children for the actions of adults. And these cuts will punish children.
Well, it seems that there's so much that is anticipated in terms of the cuts that there ought to be some kind of consciousness throughout the city, and especially throughout the education community,